Thank you so much for talking to us again. I know I just talked to you, but I kept seeing more things about the movie. I got to see a screener for the movie. I got to see
Did
the
you
movie.
watch a screener?
I did.
Yay! Okay, I
And then I
am
was like,
sad that you had to watch it with a watermark through it because it changes everything. It's so good without a watermark.
it was so good and so cute. And it was funny because I was watching it on my iPad, and my friend who doesn't like,
These
any kind
kinds
of
of
romantic,
movies. I know.
yeah, kept coming over and be like, wait, what are you watching? Like, wait, that was funny. What was,
Like,
no,
it's
no, no.
actually kind of cute. Okay, well, so that was our goal for this. When we first came up with the idea, it all just kind of had like this is truly our baby. Our production company did this movie. We helped build it from the ground up. And when we brought it to Great American Family, they really allowed us to kind of um get in the driver's seat for this movie. So we wanted to build something that was a little bit more elevated than the typical Christmas movie we watch. Now, that doesn't mean we've changed the formula or anything like that. There's still a love story, it's still Christmas time, all that's still in there, but we really wanted it to feel like the old school Christmas movies that you grew up watching. So just joyful all the way through, paced up just a little bit more than what we're used to with these typical Christmas movies. And the biggest thing for us was how do we reach maybe a newer audience, an audience that wouldn't normally watch these movies? So we sent it to my husband's brother, Javi, and he is not a fan of these movies. Let's just say that. So we were expecting a very, very tough critic. And he came back saying, guys, I legit was expecting to not like this movie at all, and I loved it. And he's like, and to top it off, I smiled the entire time. He was like, I was genuinely impressed. He goes, I started clapping at the end of the movie, and I didn't even know why.
It's the experience. It has that effect on you. Honestly, I was laughing, I was smiling. I was like, I was doing the audible, oh,
Oh,
like
yeah, it's just there's something about it, and I'm so happy because we just put so much heart into this movie. And you know, I always tell people, I'm like, look, there are amazing films out there, but for us with this, we really just wanted to create this space where people just feel like they could just be out of their little moment, out of their like busyness of their life for a moment and just fall into this kind of feel good land for a little bit. And I really feel like that's what this movie does. You just smile all the way through.
you do. And I loved the ensemble cast that you guys brought together. We see some
Such a cool
familiar
team.
faces, you
Yeah.
might see some new faces. You guys just all, the way you guys bounced off each other was so funny, was so sweet, was so heartfelt. Everyone just worked so beautifully. So, how did that cast come together? What was it like picking the different people? I
Oh,
was, because
yeah. I mean, that part I think was hard because there were so many people that we love and adored that, we would love to work with. But when you only have a handful of characters, there are only so many people that you can put in a movie at once. There were so many good gets. The one that, is secretly our favorite character of all, was played by Marcus Johns. And he's like the Uber driver or like the driver. We can't say Uber, I don't think, but like, just like the driver. And it was awesome because he was originally supposed to be a huge character. And during all the writing process and trying to like figure out who was staying and who was going, he was one of the characters before it was Marcus that everybody had tried to axe. And we were desperately trying to hold on to this character. We're like, okay, what if we just make him much smaller, but we don't want to get rid of him because he was this guy that like showed up all throughout the movie and you kind of didn't know why. So he's still in there. It wasn't as big as we wanted to, but one day we will give him a standalone film because that character is so funny.
it could be a
Yeah.
spinoff,
I
honestly.
know, I know. Marcus Johns, you're
One.
gonna get your own spinoff. But I love the Johns family. Cody and Lexi, like they're good friends of ours. Cody is Marcus's brother. And Lexi actually plays my friend in the movie. When all the girls are on the couch and she's just like, she said the L word. That's his sister-in-law. So we try to bring the family element into this film where just people that we love and care about are all in one place. And people who are passionate and want the same things when it comes to film. That's kind of who's in this movie.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it totally paid off because even the behind the scene footage, you guys looked, it just looked like such a fun set to be on.
Well, okay. How awesome is Kevin Valdez, who plays Carlos's brother? He's just the cutest, so sweet, so unbelievably talented. It was unreal. And it was wild because we were like, how are we gonna cast Maddie? Like Matt is such an important character. He is on the spectrum, so we have to find somebody who understands the importance of like what we're trying to do here. We didn't want to cast somebody who wasn't actually on the spectrum because we really wanted to, we knew that there were great actors out there who were on the spectrum who could actually handle this role.
Yeah.
I was going through and all of a sudden his image popped up and I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel like that's him. And he looked just like Carlos's real life brother, his youngest brother, who's also on the spectrum. So we were just kind of going through all of the stuff. I was watching some videos of him like way back in the day on other projects. And I was like, that's your brother. That is fully your brother, Carlos. Like, we have to cast this guy.
He was such the perfect choice. He actually, so I love quoting movies, and one of his lines, or multiple of his lines, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to quote that.
I
It's
mean, I
so
can't
funny.
tell you how often we say you got to keep your eye on the prize because
Yes.
of Kevin. So, it's so funny because he was so great. He memorized all his stuff really, really well. Came to set super prepared. But where we really struck gold was when we would keep rolling and we would just keep talking with him and Carlos would just like keep going because he would stay fully in character and he knew, yeah, like we're gonna keep going in character and he just killed it. He killed it. We're like, Kevin, this is way better than what's even on the paper. And he's just like, oh, yeah, I know. He was so confident in that. But I'm like, you know what? Good for you. You know what you're capable of. You know how amazing you are. And it made everybody's heart swoon every day on set. He was just such a joy.
Yes, and it plays through entirely. Yeah, like I said, his lines, some of his lines, I'm like, oh, I kept picking and quoting
Yeah.
all day. None of my friends knew what I was talking about, but I knew. And I was like, you'll know in a few days. Don't
Yes,
worry. Like in a few
exactly.
days, we'll have a movie next.
Exactly.
What are some of your favorite lines for the movie that you are gonna quote?
Oh,
You don't have to say,
no, no, no. I mean, look, I one of our favorite lines in the movie was another ad lib one where we were at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium and we love the make the world stop Jack. Like that's just such a like typical. I mean, it's not typical, but it's like the romantic rom-com movie like make the world stop Jack. But when I went to go sit down they didn't cut yet. So I just screamed, play me something because nothing was happening. And we all just loved it that it ended up sticking. So that wasn't in the script, but that's probably one of my favorite lines.
that was one of my favorite lines, and I have a lot of favorite moments, and I have a lot of favorite songs in the movie. And
Thank
you
you.
sing, and you have a beautiful, beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you so much.
Are you, are you thinking of singing more in the future?
This is what I always tell people. I'm like, if I had just a little more confidence with singing like 15 years ago, I would be Shakira right now or J-Lo or something like that. Gosh, I wish that I had pursued that when I was younger. I really, really do. I don't have regrets, but it's definitely something I'm like, yeah, like why didn't I take that seriously as a kid? Because I was given opportunities. I was actually approached for a record deal when I was like 14, right after Spy Kids and like the singing, dancing thing. So I was so sad, like looking back, I'm like, man, that could be so fun because I genuinely love music. I love singing. I love performing. Um, but I also don't know what that would look like between Carlos and myself and all of our children. I don't know how we would manage that. So the Lord truly just he has us right where we're supposed to be, but I do love music. So I'll sing in my shower and I'll perform for my kids here.
And we get to watch it here. We get to see you sing
That's
in the
right. And
movie
and for movies, and for movies.
and for movies.
Get the latest uplifting news and interviews from your favorite media at Movieguide. Like and subscribe and join the millions of families that follow your values. Now back to the show.
Will there be a way to, because this is original
Yes.
music. Is there a way to buy the
Yes.
soundtrack or?
So here's what's really cool. Carlos's new band, Angels and Kings, actually did all of the music for this film, including score the film. So Alex from Angels and Kings is just incredible. He's a music genius. He did the scoring for the film. And then Carlos and Alex got together with a handful of really, really talented writers, and they just put their heads together because they had no time to write all the music for this movie. And they did such an incredible job. Like they truly, truly did. The music, as you know, is super catchy, super fun. Obviously, we have some good holiday music in there, like with the Christmas jams. But there's also an original song by Angels and Kings, where when you're watching the movie, it's actually like secretly in the background. It's not a very prominent song, but it will be released, I believe. I don't know if it's tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, but all the songs will be available, including the secret song from Angels and Kings.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can finally listen to it because I have to rewind.
You're like literally reminding the movie to like listen to it. Okay, what is your favorite song? Because I have a favorite song.
I love I don't know what the title of it, but it's like the Bella, but
Hey Bella, that's
Hey
my
Bella.
favorite song.
Okay.
It's so good. And the one thing that we kept trying to go back to is like we wanted this movie to feel a little bit like, I mean, it's not old school because clearly it's current, but like the way those old school movies felt, like the way they
Yeah.
made your heart just like swoon. So it was a little bit of a play on like Hey There Delilah. Do you remember that Hey There Delilah or like Hey
Yes.
Delilah or whatever it is? So our goal was just kind of like it clearly is not that song, but it's like a play on that song. It's just like that old school feel good vibe, and just the lyrics to that song just get you. They just
Every time. I love it. I love that song. So you and Carlos are the producers for the movie. You also star in it. Carlos and his band Angels. I'm sorry,
Angels and Kings. Yes,
Angels
you're
and
so
Kings.
good, girl. Don't worry, it's new. It's still new.
Angels and Kings. I listen to them. I listen to them. I do. So you guys were really key voices in this film. Were there any aspects, whether it be like Christmas magic or, family or love, that you were really, really wanting to make sure that the movie captured well?
It's gonna be a weird answer. But for us, it was actually pacing. And that sounds kind of silly, but I think a lot of times when we watch other Christmas movies, the things that would like kind of like not frustrate us, but just go like, oh, why isn't this hitting the way we want it to? Was the pacing. It felt a little
Mm.
slow. And when I think of the holiday season, there's like a hustle and bustle to the holiday season. And even though you're having these special moments with your family, it's not slow. I don't think there's anything slow about the holiday season. Even though you might be tucked away at home with your family, you're tucked away at home cooking and singing and making gingerbread houses, wrapping presents. Like there's just a flow that happens. And we really wanted to capture that like pacing, that rhythm throughout the film. And I do feel like that's why this one does like kind of stand out in comparison to a lot of the holiday films that are out there. It is just paced up a little bit more. And it has a lot of youthful elements to it, but it still works for the whole family.
It does. It does. Everyone can enjoy every part. It's not one where it's like, oh, okay, we'll sit through this part so I
Yeah,
can get to the humor.
exactly. No, I just feel like it's something that works for everybody.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I have been mentioning my favorite parts. Everyone watching this video, you're gonna go watch the movie and then you're gonna come back and you're gonna understand everything that we're
And
saying.
you're going to know what we're talking about.
Yes. Okay, so some of my favorite parts were obviously cowboys,
Yeah, awesome.
French fries.
Here's the thing. I don't like French fries or milkshakes. So if you actually watch back in that scene, I don't eat either. Only my poor husband.
That's funny, I didn't notice. Post-it notes.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, gosh, Kevin's so good in that scene too.
He's so funny.
So
And what was another one? Oh. Is it ukulele?
Oh yeah, yes. Oh,
Ukulele.
so good. So good. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a couple. of I'll give you a couple of mine, but I can give it a little bit more insight.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so the song at the stadium was the big one for me. Just because it was just such an awesome experience to film at the stadium, but also just how it was shot. You kind of go into like a movie land for a second where like they're in like this dream world together, and it's just for a small moment before they kind of come back into reality. And oh gosh, what it like it makes your heart swoon. I was so happy with how it turned out because Bella thinks that she's just having this like fun moment where he gets to perform, and she's just sitting back like laughing or whatever. And then when she realizes the power behind this song, everything changes for her in that moment, and she has to start questioning everything. And to me, obviously, it's like such a pivotal part in the movie, but it was just such a fun scene to film. Another scene that I'll give you a little tea on was the Hey Bella Part 2, where it's where it's the I'm Bella song, which is kind of like a little surprise song. That was the most frustrating, difficult scene to film, and here's why. So, leading up to the movie, we had every single song ready to go and recorded and good. The only thing we didn't have was I'm Bella. And we needed lyrics desperately. We knew what we wanted to do. So, I would be writing stuff, but Carlos was in the middle of doing so many things that I would like send him stuff that I had written, but like ultimately, like they're the music guys. They need to kind of go over this. And Carlos is like, I'm loving this, but it's not 100% yet. So I just need to sit with it. Well, he just kept saying that for every single day for weeks. And we're finally at the day. So, like, we never even got a chance to record the song. The goal was to record the song so I didn't have to worry about what my voice sounded like, so I could sound pretty. Because I'm not like Carlos, where he could just go out and whip out any song. Um, so I was just like, okay, babe. Like, and I just remember having so much anxiety and being so frustrated. And I tried, like, we really don't fight very often. We'll have like our little arguments, but we don't fight. This was one of those moments where I was actually getting mad at Carlos because I was like, I literally have to sing this song. It's something I'm already insecure about. I have no lyrics. It's literally the day of. And I'm just so frustrated that you would do this to me. I would never do this to you. Why would you do this to me? He's like, babe, God always has a plan. And I was like, I know he has a plan, but you did not have a plan. So I was literally on set just waiting, and he just kept walking away. Hi, baby. He just kept walking away to go like figure out these lyrics. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And they're like, okay, Alexa, the song is going to be right after lunch. I have no lyrics. I have just like nothing. And we're about to shoot. And finally Carlos comes over to me, and he has like a napkin with lyrics on it. And he's like, okay, this is them. I'm going to sing it to you. Tell me what you think. And he sings it to me, and it's fantastic, but I'm so angry that I can like barely handle the goodness of the song because I'm like so filled with anxiety. So then I have to go up and sing it. And here's the massive blessing. Had we done it any other way, we wouldn't have gotten the scene that we had out of it because it was never supposed to be emotional. It was never supposed to be this like crazy climax. It was actually just supposed to be this sweet song that she sings him like, hey, look what I made for you. And then everybody's happy. So what we got because of all of that was so much better than what the original intent was. And you can't not sing that live, not with that emotion, not with what was behind it. But getting to that part was really hard. It was so hard.
I mean, that sounds crazy, crazy hard, but I mean, it looked so beautiful. And it was one of those moments that in my mind, I kind of thought I knew what was coming of like, oh, it's going to be a cute moment. And then you see the scene and it's like, I don't
Yeah.
think I breathed the whole time.
And then the weight of her words, like what she's saying, because like Jack really gave up so much for her. Like there's just so much. And that's why I'm so like I love I love lyrics. I'm a lyric girl. You know,
Mhm.
Carlos is all about beat. He loves the tone of songs, all of that. But like lyrics for me are so powerful. And I'm really proud of what we ended up with.
Oh, it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm excited when I can officially show all of my friends and we can sit down and we have a movie night
Yes.
finally. And we can quote back to each other all of Kevin Valderez,
Yes. Oh
his
my gosh. All his quotes. He's so good. He's
all
just
of his
so
lines
good.
and sing
One.
all the songs
What
to
is
each
the
other.
one? Like when we're just sitting at the Christmas tree patch, and I'm like, just pretend like you're not here to see her. He's like, I am here to see her. Just like you're so cute, Kevin.
That's my favorite. That's one of the ones I kept quoting too. I love that one. And I would like go back and watch it
Like
again so I could
so
learn it, so I
cute.
could make
Yes,
sure that
yes,
it's quote
yes.
accurate. I'm so excited. This movie is coming out the 14th. It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to love this movie. Thank you so much for talking to us
Thank you for
again.
having me. Heck yeah, girl. Are you kidding? Of course. And you know what? I just want to reiterate this is, I feel like, just such a good quality movie for the whole family. That's our goal. I think a lot of times, for our production company at least, a lot of times, you'll see Christian content out there, or it might not even be Christian, but it'll be cleaner content. But a lot of times it's just so cheesy. And I'm tired of that. Like, I want good family content to have quality. It really matters. We shouldn't be settling for just like cheesy because that's just what we get. Like, no,
Yeah.
I want us to have quality content out there. So yeah, I think this is just the beginning.
Please tell me that you still don't do that.
Dip my fries in the shake just once.
Ugh.
What do you think?
No.
Come on.
No, absolutely not.
It is so good.
I have salt in my shake.
I'm so lucky to be with you.
Whoa! We don't want a front seat to that.
You should use VidAngel. Filter out any offensive content that you don't want to see or hear.
Done.
Sign up at vidangel.com to start filtering today.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.